Hey guys, how's it going? I thought I would make just a video about my history with EDC and knives, how I got to where I am now, why I made some of the choices, and what changes along the way that have come. I haven't made a little outline, so some of my ramblings can make some coherent thought, perhaps, or just have some sort of organization. Because most of the time, I just go off on one branch and end up in another for some reason. But as a little kid, I grew up in the woods. Shot a lot of 22, a lot of BB guns were a big thing because it was a lot cheaper shooting that. And I had my first pocket knife that I wanted forever was just a Victorinox. I was in Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. Then I kind of fell away from that stuff for a while, and then maybe 5 or 6 years after high school, I ended up working for Comcast as a technician. I don't know if they're still called Comcast or known as Xfinity now. I kind of left right after that little whole change happened. But I needed knives and tools for field work. I lost a lot of knives, lost a lot of multi-tools under houses and in attics. But when I left that, during that time, I actually bought my first sharp maker, the Spyderco sharp maker with the rods. For the time being, that kept my stuff sharp. It gave me a lot of, principles on how to make stuff sharp, but I wasn't like really refined, but it helped me keep my knives sharp and usable because I didn't buy a lot, but I had maybe 3 or 4. A couple got lost. One I had to leave with my friend because I couldn't travel with it over the airlines. The last one I kept was, and that's when I got introduced to stuff like Spyderco, Benchmade, ZT. Those were the big 3 that I kind of liked back then. But the only one I really kept was my Benchmade Mini Griptilian. It was just easy to take care of. It was not too big. Good EDC. Had that forever. And then around the time Gabby was born, I ended up losing it. She's 6 now. I ended up losing it, and that's when I started to kind of go back into the EDC world to see, what else is out there. What should a good replacement be for that Mini Griptilian? It was just an all-black one, nothing special. But I really liked that knife. I realized how useful it was for me in my daily tasks, even though I wasn't like a knife guy per se back then. Ended up joining like Knife Swap on Reddit. Someone introduced me to the Millie Club after I bought a couple of knives. And man, it was like a drug. Like all these new models I saw coming out, I couldn't keep up with it. So I got into buying a bunch of new knives that I really shouldn't be buying defensive knives that I had no business with. But it was like kind of like that dopamine hit, trying to be cool and posting the new stuff that just came out that you got one of, and you're showing it off. But then in the groups you meet a lot of awesome people. The knives were fun, but the people is where I really stayed for it. And then I also at the time bought a KME, and that really got me into sharpening. I got a lot better with it. I was practicing. I was pretty happy with how I was doing, but I knew always there was some more room for improvement. But this allowed me to get knives that I may normally not get into or buy into my hands to kind of try out, sharpen, and it really helped me solidify my technique and stuff. But then there was a time in my life where like new knives really weren't doing it for me. Buying defensive knives, after I really took a deep hard look at actually protecting myself, would I really want to use a knife for defensive use? Possibly a small portion, but the aftermath and that stuff, just listen, I don't want to. I don't need that kind of trouble. I don't need that kind of heat. I obviously carry a firearm, but I do not even want that as a problem. But that is something that me personally in my life and situation, find that I should be at least proficient enough to go about doing. So I ended up selling almost everything. I put that money mostly into sharpening upgrades and abrasives, stuff that helps me sharpen a little better, sharpen a little easier, makes quality of life with that stuff a little bit better, and that kind of took off. It's kind of waning now. I don't know if it's either I'm pretty sure it's the climate, the economy. Also, I haven't really promoted it as much as I used to, so it's kind of died off, but I still do it. That's the one thing I'm really having a trouble deciding if I want to keep doing or not, but I think I just might as well keep it. It's always going to be there. It doesn't take a lot of space anyway. But I really kind of cracked down with, if I were to use a defensive knife, what would it be? and I even gotten a bunch of fixed blades. Mason, you were a big reason why I've gotten to fixed blades back then. I'm not into them as now because I kind of boiled it down to what I need. I work at a warehouse, and even now I cut a lot less than I used to because a lot of the hands-on work I've mitigated over to a helper, and I'm doing more of the administrative stuff. So a lot of times, like today I have my PM2. It does not see nearly the amount of cut time it used to when I first started this job at the warehouse. I kind of miss it, but you know, stuff changes. But I condensed a lot. I haven't bought a lot of new knives. There have been some things that I've been looking at, and obviously I slip up here once in a while. You guys see that. But a lot of the money that usually goes to is stuff for Gabby as she's getting older. You know, cost of stuff goes up. Cost of ammo is expensive. It's not a cheap hobby to keep going into firearms. I mean, you can dry fire all day, but if you don't validate it on the range, and if you don't go at least a couple times a month, you're not going to see improvement or even keep the level of skill up. But I do want to be proficient enough to be able to protect myself and my loved ones. My goal at the end of the day, whatever it is to get home at night, be safe, not be in trouble. Is it necessary to have this defensive tools like a knife and a gun on you? No, it's not, but it's just stuff that I can hopefully mitigate as far as issues and stuff that can happen to you to keep you from achieving that goal of being home, seeing your loved ones at the end of the day. But yeah, I've limited my stuff. I don't really carry like defensive folders. I feel like they're kind of, I don't know, I'd rather have it usually used for cutting. And if I actually want a defensive knife, this is really all you need right here, just to get off me. There's no other reason to have this. Obviously, you can use it as an EDC knife, but the main purpose of that and the way it's designed and the way it's worn is to just get someone off of you, get out of trouble, just get out of there. And then you have to worry about the aftermath with legalities and the police and stuff. But anyway, this is a long video. That's where I am now from where I started. If you guys want to share maybe a brief info on where you guys are now, how'd you get started on EDC and knives, and you know, what are you hoping to do in the future. But if you guys watched this all the way, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I appreciate you putting up with my videos.